And we're back. Welcome to the Culture and Cannabis Podcast. My name is JC Coates. I'll be your host today. I'm in studio by myself. Tony's usually in the driver's seat today, but he's been out on assignment up in Reno all week, and now I think he's God knows where with some of his college friends. I think in Colorado. Tony, are you out there?
I'm here.
Boom, Tony, full-time Tony in the building, in the truck. What's going on, man? Where you at? What's going on?
We're currently in Fort Collins, Colorado. We just got done getting a very nice happy hour, and we're going over to the next bar. I have some of my best friends in the entire world in the car with me, so just super pumped to be on the podcast right now.
Nice. Well, let them know that we need you to return safe and sound. All right. So, it's very important for you to be alive for this whole thing to work.
They would like to keep me in one piece as well.
So listen, you were just in Reno. What's going on in Northern Nevada with the Culture and Cannabis brand?
Yeah, so Reno's been an awesome market for the Culture and Cannabis brand. You know, it's been a place that's been near and dear to my heart. All my friends in my car right now, we all met at the University of Nevada, Reno. And yeah, so going up there with the Culture and Cannabis brand has been awesome, just to connect with some of the smaller dispensaries in the market and connect with the.
And we lost him. Yeah, we'll give it like two seconds. Well, boom. Well, sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not there. So that's what happens with the live remote. Oh, there he is. So
am I back?
Yeah, you're back. So, the Culture and Cannabis brand.
My friends are so nice that they're going to pull over for us.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I think you were talking about just the brand, how we're, been in, it's been a great partnership as a whole with Northern Nevada and the Culture and Cannabis brand. And you just spent 3 or 4 days there. What was the big takeaway from the trip?
Just connecting with people up there. Me and Chuck, got to go up there and experience meeting with a bunch of different influencers in the space and connecting with every dispensary up there. Our goal when we went up there was to go to every single dispensary, and that's something I used to do back in the day for the Reno Cannabis Convention on my lunch break. Was I would go stop in at every dispensary and go buy a joint and talk with some bud tenders. And I think paying your dues as a cannabis brand, no matter how far you're into the space, is so important to just connect with people in the space.
That's great, man. Yeah, dues are paid every day, son. Dues are paid every day, son. Well, listen, I mean, you're talking about it in kind of a general, kind of speak in terms, but let me put this in perspective. Cannabis brands that are located and have a headquarters in Las Vegas send salespeople, send reps, partners, whatever, up to Northern Nevada all the time to sell cannabis, and it's just like a normal sales trip. The main thing that's different about when we send our team up there is we take Chuck up there, we take me up there, we take you up there, and we're creating video content and media and a bunch of added value for our retail partners, and that's what makes us kind of different as leading with media, right? And we're kind of this emerging media and cannabis brand, coming out as one of the leaders here in the United States right now. Where do you think the main value of cannabis and media is in the cannabis industry?
Media in cannabis is so important because that's how just like top of mind, that's how you break the stigma, right? Is being able to share the stories of the people in the community and show that, we're not just a bunch of like lazy stoners. And sometimes when you work in the cannabis space, it's hard to zoom out from the idea that, cannabis is very accepting and that everyone does it, but that's not necessarily the case. I'm fortunate enough that I get to travel across the country and that, I get to go meet a ton of different people from different places. And it's not necessarily the case that everyone's consuming cannabis in their neck of the woods. So to be able to share the stories of people in the community is so important. And for a brand, that's how you connect with your community. Mm-hmm. That's how you're able to tell the story of what you're doing and why your brand's important and why people should connect with your brand.
Right. Yeah. I think it's so dope that, like when we went out to Oklahoma, we didn't only just come back with some personal relationships and some retail product partners, but we came back with some deep stories of people that are, rooted in the Oklahoma cannabis culture. And that's what you guys did this week up in Reno, connected with a bunch of retail partners, but you also connected with a bunch of people, right? And we're going to tell those stories and, dive into some of that stuff on our website and get lost in the media that we create. So listen, last question. I'll let you get back to your friends in Colorado. Listen, you own a cannabis company, right? You also own a restaurant, right? So what are some of the main similarities between, hospitality industry and the cannabis industry?
I think the service, I think the idea of just like taking care of people in general is always a good idea. And so, what's so funny, I was talking about this today is that, a function of being a part, an owner of a part owner of a restaurant is replying to Yelp reviews. And something that I've noticed about you, JC, is that you take every single DM to the Culture and Cannabis account very seriously, the same way that I take every Yelp review for the restaurant very seriously. And I think just having that customer service is always, being over the top with the customer service is always a good thing to have. So, I think that's the biggest thing that's going to be the biggest crossover. And so it's going to be interesting to see as these cannabis lounges start opening up and we see the mix of the hospitality space with food mixed with cannabis.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, dude. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, they're definitely one and the same. And I'm a big one for service, right? I think service is a great principle to have. And, it definitely comes from, many years of myself working in the restaurant industry. Well, listen, man, I don't want to keep you too long. Send us off with some parting words.
I'm just really excited for all the things we got coming up right now, my man. We got some really cool products in the works that you sent me some photos of that you'll probably talk about later. I'm not going to announce it here in my remote, but I definitely hope that you talk about it. And yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to get back to doing events. It looks like there's a light at the end of this COVID tunnel, so I'm really excited to get back into doing events that brings the community together. And so it's just been awesome with the Culture and Cannabis team rocking and rolling. This past weekend with Chuck has been, ultra grateful in the sense that I have such an amazing team around me. And so can't thank you enough, JC, and can't wait to get back to Vegas and get back to work.
Nice. Well, enjoy your time and we'll catch you when you get back, brother.
Awesome. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Love ya.
Love you too. Boom. There it is. Full-time Tony in the flesh, on the road, doing his thing. Listen, it's crazy, for me, I've been in Vegas all week, but we've had our whole team in Reno. And, just this since like October, we've been going through this phase of, scaling a business. Right. And I keep going back to my friend John Bond from Dutchy. He says, everyone's great until it's time to scale. And then the cracks start to show, and it's been really cool going through the, just the scaling process, right? And being able to, for me, just to kind of be able to let go, right? And have my team kind of leading in a whole new territory. And I'm not even there, right? And you can't be everywhere at once, right? And so it's all about building value for your company so you can attract good partners that want to, give value and find a home with what you guys are doing. So it's been a crazy growth process, and we're still after it. But listen, we have a guest in studio today. He's been a friend. I've been connected with him for about a year on Instagram, and he's here because the power of the direct message. And listen, don't sleep on the DMs, right? A lot of business goes down in there. So
please,
Brjden, what's good, man? How are you, sir? Welcome to the podcast.
I'm good, JC. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Listen, so are you owner, CEO, founder?
Owner, CEO, founder of biteSiZeD magazine.
Of biteSiZeD magazine. What is it?
Yeah, biteSiZeD magazine is it's a brainchild of mine. I've been doing it for about 5 years, cultivating it, creating it. Essentially what it is, it's a way to kind of connect people to the community in the city of Las Vegas, locals, helping local businesses. We just want to drive more business to local spots, and we use social media as sort of a neutral sort of grounds of being able to kind of give and create and directly give people different things to do, places to go, to eat. Again, I work for like the Weekly. I used to write for the Weekly. I used to write for like 7 magazine.
Nice. So you've been in media for a
long time,
right.
long time.
And you were in media. Now you own a company. Was there ever a time where you were you owned your own company. Was this ever just a side hustle for you at one time?
Nah, this wasn't something. This was something that up until COVID happened, I was the executive editor at MGM inside of their internal agency. And again, the idea and the concept was to create something that people would be able to experience as opposed to read. It's a full-fledged magazine. It's an ongoing magazine.
So let's talk about it for a second. All right. So it's a magazine, right? It's a digital magazine, but it's different, right? So let's talk about why it's kind of like different and nuanced and the unique ways that biteSiZeD is.
The uniqueness comes with the idea that people don't read anymore. Unfortunately, I'm still a reader, but people don't really read anymore. And we wanted to create something that people can experience. So all of our stories are either video or auditory. And the reason why it's named biteSize, people think it's about food, but biteSize in the content delivery. We want it to be really quick, really sharp. We don't have anything over, say, like a minute long. And we use social media content along with different influencers and creators around the city who experience some of the different places that we are featuring on the app and on the magazine to kind of give people an idea about the different places they may want to go, eat, shop, and we do it in a really quick, sharp way to where you're not reading it, you're just experiencing it. As opposed to again, people don't read. I'm sure you know that. Oftentimes people they go
I
up and
read
down.
a little bit, but I have to like make myself read. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we're being truly honest with you, it's auto. I listen to my books, right? I don't sit down with a book and read it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And just to get real specific here, if you check out their content, it's the bite-sized content. It's like they're features, right? And they're just little short videos, right?
The short videos. We also do short auditory. Like you can click on, say, like a restaurant, and you get like maybe a 15-second rundown about what that restaurant has going on that week. And we do it in different languages as well. We can do it in Spanish, French Canadian, Japanese, Mandarin, which was a way bigger concept and way bigger feature when the world was open up, where people were traveling to Vegas all the time. The idea and the concept was to have something that people can come into town. Let's say you're from Singapore and you speak Mandarin, you'd be able to come into town and you can download the app and kind of get to know the city in your native tongue, as opposed to trying to figure it out in English and just searching around. So the idea and the concept was to create really sharp, quick content. We can do it in a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different languages, in order for people to get to know the city. Simple.
Right. And so that all that stuff creates value for the user, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so different ways, like the videos, the experience, and then so like how are we creating value for like the businesses, right?
Well, the businesses are, if they're not on social media, they're dead.
Right.
They're dead. Billboards. What good is a billboard if everyone's doing this? Everyone's down on their phones. If you're not here, you're nowhere. And that's where we are. We specifically focus on targeting social ads, social media especially. It's free. It's not our services is free, but using social media is free, and be able to create content in a way that's targeted, that's specific, that it's effective, is the way that we are using it to sort of categorize. I mean, you can go up and down Instagram and you may just so happen to come across a burger spot maybe that you want to try out. But what we've done is that we basically categorize social media and the businesses that are available in Las Vegas to where you can go on the actual magazine, search for a type of food that maybe you were looking to get. If you're looking for sushi, you're looking for a burger and fries, something like that. And we list all the different options that you have around town. You click it, and then you get links to their social media account. You get links to their website. You can call them. It's almost like it's one part Yelp, one part Spotify, where you can kind of instead of reading, you're experiencing really quickly. You don't have to read it.
Right.
You can just listen and watch.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So when you were at your position before this, did you say you were at the MGM?
Yeah, I was editor, proofreader inside of their internal agency.
And so would you say that they were kind of did a lot of focus on like traditional media style? Yeah. And then so why did you choose to go into this non-traditional style of media?
Because I've always kind of been the type of person that I look for the cracks. I look for the different paths to kind of get somewhere in a way that is a little bit unorthodox and a little bit different from everything else. It's my idea and the concept was only because I kind of saw where things were going, where people were just reading less, and the way that they are informed is by scrolling. They scroll. and they don't even read the article, they read the title of the article, and they feel informed by reading that title.
Right.
If it's Joe Biden just signed gun bill,
then they screenshot it and put it in their story.
Click here to read more. They don't click to read more.
Yeah.
They feel informed by saying, hey, I heard Joe Biden just signed a,
Joe Biden's too busy to vote in marijuana. That's the new one. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. And oftentimes it's not real news either. It's just a bunch of headlines with some stories that aren't really, credible, but people feel informed by just scrolling and reading the headlines. But, and my point being is that people, we're so spoiled for choice. As people nowadays. Again, you're old enough and I'm old enough to know where we only had a few options when it came to like entertainment. Now you got Hulu, you got Netflix, you got Amazon Prime, you got this over here, you got that over there. And we're so spoiled for choice. If you don't grab them and give them what it is that you want within seconds, you're done. They're gonna move on to something else. Awesome. We wanted to create something that we can inform people really quickly, really sharply, in a way that they feel not only they feel informed, but they don't feel like their time is being wasted. Everything is it's just really just about trimming the fat.
Right.
Even if you look at what social media has become, think about what MySpace was. Yeah. Remember you go on MySpace and you could spend 2 hours on it. You could decorate
your wall and
your music, and you got this and that, my favorite things and all this stuff. And it was so hard to upload, and it was really kind of bulky and kind of whatever. And Facebook saw it and it was like, well, how about we trim the fat on that? How about we just allow people just to kind of give their content? It's an easier upload. The bandwidth is not being, taken up. And because remember, like MySpace used to take forever to load some of these pages. Then what did Twitter do? Twitter's like, well, let's even trim that. It's 140 characters. Get you in and get you out. Say what you're going to say real quick. If you want to say something else, save it for another post. But we're trying to get people out of here quickly. Then what did Instagram do? They trim the fat even on that. People don't want to read what you're talking about. Just show some pictures. So now we got
just see the first 3 words. Right.
And even before they start doing video, it was just really just a picture site. And then what did TikTok do from that? They even trimmed it even further to where it's like, how about we just show them because we don't even want to read anything and pictures are a little bit boring. Let's just do like little fun, quick videos. So we just everything about anything that anyone's doing when it comes to business, I believe should be about convenience, and it should be about seeing where things are going and what people are doing, what businesses are doing in order to sort of adapt. Take for instance Netflix. I thought Netflix was the stupidest idea in the world when I first heard it. Why would I order a movie and wait for it to come the next day? Right. Where I could just go to Blockbuster Video and get it right now. Right. But they had that was their first model. They knew where this was going. They knew where streaming was going. Yeah. That was their first model. And now, I don't know if you know, like Blockbuster, they wanted Blockbuster to buy them. Blockbuster, they didn't see it.
Right. Yeah.
When I first heard of Uber, I thought that was the stupidest idea in the world. Why would I get in the car with a stranger? In his old raggedy car and like do whatever he want to do with me? Nah, that makes no sense. But they had the idea and the vision what this was going to be, and how this is going to be convenient, and how this is another limb for people. This is like another limb for people.
Well, let's dive into this a little bit because I think this is interesting. Because like, first of all, like used to be with like media, you never felt like just a regular guy could start a media company, right? Like, especially with just all the traditional stuff. And now like it looks like with social media and the different way, like you can almost just become a personal brand, and it's almost like a media, group around just your personal brand, right? It's like, it's kind of easy to accomplish, but shit, man, I forgot what I was. What's that?
I didn't know he was going. I was waiting for him. Like, what you trying to say? But I mean, even just a couple on with that, while you figure out where that was going. Like you were saying, it's so easy. I think about all the different personal brands that people have started, personal media brands that people have started just based off their own, whatever. I ain't gonna name no names.
I think what I was gonna say is like, so what does it take to, make a media company successful?
Almost what it would take to make anything successful, and that's a dedication to what it is that you want to do, a passion for what it is you want to do. I think the difference between people who are successful and people who aren't, oftentimes is their dedication to it and their desire to do it. I know you've been in the game and been in many games for a long time. I'm sure you know. I got friends who almost every other week they got a new idea. Yeah, and everyone has ideas. Where's your follow through, bro? Why you were so passionate about an idea last week? Now this week you got another another whatever. And I'm like, stick to it, stick to something that it is that you love, and just keep going. This is something bite-sized. This is our first year, and we're doing really, really well our first year. But this is something that I've been thinking about every single day for like 6 years.
And I think that it came back to me now. Sometimes we get in these deep conversations, I just get lost. But like, sometimes like when you're being an entrepreneur and you start new things, and sometimes you'll see some characters, right? They're just having a hard time with it.
Yeah.
And like some people will hold on to like a certain idea or product that they had, and it just not really seeing success, but then they don't let go of it. You feel me? Like, how do you make the choice to where you understand where the direction that you're going to go is going to work? You know what I mean? So like going back to like the Netflix and those type of guys, right? Like they were going into a territory kind of like, similar to what you're doing. You're creating kind of your own lane and all that stuff. How do you know it's going to work? You know what I mean? Because there's nobody like before you that already did it, right? That you're just doing it just like, right?
Right.
So how do you know that you're going down the right path?
I think from people's reactions to it. Again, I think it always starts with having a belief in yourself and what it is that you're doing. And sure, you can believe it, but it's not until you get others to kind of see what it is you're doing. It's amazing how many people.
So what do you do if you don't get people?
Pivot,
right?
Probably have to pivot. Probably have to kind of figure out. Well, I should say evaluate first. Evaluate. Okay, so what is the problem, and troubleshoot. And you may have to pivot and come up with something else that I pivoted millions of times. Well, I shouldn't say millions, but a lot with our first model from where it was to where it is now. It's night and day different. I think the concept and what I kind of wanted to do was there. My bottom line was I wanted to create an all video and auditory publication. But the actual models, I pivoted many times. And then as the world changes, as different things change, how, again, 6 years ago, social media wasn't what it was. I mean, it existed, but it wasn't what it was today. And we had to flow with that. We had to kind of create within that to kind of to keep up with everything that was going on. So I think if you have a bottom line, I think I'm going to miss this. I'm going to paraphrase this. The saying is, always keep your eye on what your ultimate goal and your vision is, but the way to get there, be fluid with it.
Be fluid with
You have to be fluid with it. You can't just say like, nope, this is going to be this way. Right. You got to kind of move with the times. Keep your eye on the vision that you have, but at the same time, be open enough to know that you may have to pivot, you may have to change, you may have to, tweak and to get you to where you ultimately want to go with your vision.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think it's a really great point that I hope people take home, because a lot of people are afraid to pivot, right? And they get caught up or they get emotional about what they're selling, right? And you at the end of the day, you want to love what you're doing. You want to have passion, right? But you can't get romantic about it, because at the end of the day, if you're in love with something that's not working, you know what I mean? Then
in business and in life,
it's going to be a long road. You know what I mean?
Long road, bro.
And just like what you said earlier, you've watched my story. I've been into all kinds of different shit. I'm seeing a ton.
I remember you and so many other days from nightlife.
I'm seeing a lot of success now, but I fucked up a lot of stuff along the way.
I've been watching you for a long time.
So it's true, man. All right, so check it out. All right, so you have it's an online magazine. It's the videos and all this stuff, and then it's an app, right? So why the app? Why did you choose to make an app?
Because that's where everything is. Websites are kind of dying. We wanted to create something that was, and then again, you got to deal with the bandwidth and the loading, and it being docked on different Google platforms and stuff like that. An app is what everyone's using. All the kids is using. Everyone got. I'm sure. Again, I'm not sure how many apps you got on your phone, but
I got a bunch of them.
Yeah. So the app was
so how did you get it? Do you know how to develop apps? How did you go through that process?
I developed the app. I did it myself. It's hosted, but the content that was it took the longest to do. But I developed that myself, designed it myself. I kind of knew what I wanted. I think big, bold, clean. Big, bold, clean. I think if anyone takes anything from anything, if you're doing an app, big, bold, and clean. Too much content will it makes a lot of people almost intimidated. But I've talked to people who's like, this is just too much. It's just too much to try to. So I try to do. I try to keep the app nice and bold, clean, sharp. You can kind of find what you want. Big old pictures, big old videos to kind of find what it is that you want. But that was sort of my concept going into it. I wanted to be really sort of easily kind of. You can maneuver through it really, really easily, have it be really, really functional. You can find what it is that you want really quickly, really sharply, and get on with your day.
Right. And then let's talk about your background, right? Did you go to school for this stuff, or
No?
So let's talk, okay. So then let's talk about some of your core competencies, right? Like, what are you competent in right now? What are some of the skills that you just were kind of blessed with that you've been able to grow and nurture and turn them into something to really work for yourself?
Well, there's a few things. I went to school for I majored in English, and I went to school because I wanted to be a writer, and again, working with the Weekly and Seven Magazine, different places like that, I enjoyed it. I loved it. When I first moved out here, I thought the Weekly was just the dopest thing. And I didn't. I'm from Chicago, and but by the way, it's Gary, Indiana. But I didn't see anything like that. It was a thick cultural magazine. You can go and check out a local artist that that people weren't really on yet, or a streetwear designer, and it was just dope. And I stalked. I'm not going to say the editor's name. I stalked all the writers there for about a year. I hit them up on Facebook like, yo, I'm a writer, but major in English. Give me a chance. Yeah. Just give me a chance. And no one said anything. Then I got some tickets. It was to Train, the group, the band Train. Okay. And one of the writers said, look, bro, I'm going to this this concert. I'm gonna write a review. If it's good, use me. Okay. And he hit me back. He was like, all right, cool. So I did it. He liked it. And so I got kind of put on that way, just writing for a bunch of different magazines. And I switched from Greenspun to Window, and then started writing over there. I was doing a lot of concert reviews and stuff like that. Then got into some editing. But my competence when it comes to it, that's not really the story to how I got from there to being able to create an app. Just like almost anything else, either I can find somebody to do it, or I know what it is that I want. Let me learn how to do it.
Right. And that's what I was looking for. Right?
Yeah.
You know what
YouTube,
I mean?
YouTube is your friend, bro. You can find anything. Again, even from like the do-it-yourself stuff around the house. DIY stuff that I do around the house. Sorry about that. I got off YouTube. Like if I wanted to learn carpet, I got a miter saw. I got all these different saws and stuff in my, I did my floors and everything else. YouTube, bro. YouTube is your friend. I learned most of the stuff that I kind of want. It's just a passion and desire to want to do it. Yeah. I mean, when there's a will, there's a way. Find a way to do what it is that you want to do and what you love to do, and nothing should stop you. Nothing should be able to stop you from doing that.
And I love the writing story about that, about how you got kind of put on, because I always had a story because I used to DJ for many years, and there'd always, when you're DJing, there's always the mad DJ in the group, right? It's the DJ that never gets booked, right? And he's always pissed about it. Yeah. And there's actually a lot of those guys, but you can go along as the mad DJ and never get booked, or you can do something about it. And for me, I would just do my own shows, and I would just book myself. You know what I mean? And that's how you.
Wait, you were the mad DJ.
I would be the DJ.
Oh, I thought you was talking about somebody else in the group being a mad DJ. You were the mad DJ.
I was never the mad DJ because I just booked myself.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like you booked yourself for the writing gig. You know what I mean? You're like, yo, I'm going to write this for you, and I'm going to give it to you, and that's how it is. You know what I mean? It's like you just put yourself on. And sometimes you just got to do that, right? Because nobody else is really gives a shit.
I like the origin stories. I like the origin stories. I like reading about how Jay-Z went to every record label, and they all say no. Right. So he just said, well, fuck it, I'm going to start my own record company. Right. I like stories like that. I like hearing about, because people love the end game and the success, but people don't really care about the actual origins, the no's. You gotta be comfortable with your no's. Get used to no starting out. You're going to hear no way more than you hear yes.
Way more.
You can't be emotional about it. You just kind of got to take it in stride. You got to get used to no, because you're going to hear it so much more than you're going to hear yes until you get to a certain. Now, I'm sure Jay-Z don't hear no to nobody now anymore, but he heard no way more starting out than he heard yes. But you can't be discouraged by that. You got to just say, believe in what it is that you're doing. Keep going.
Yeah, 100%. I used to build guest lists for nightclubs on the Las Vegas Strip, and what they would do is they would pay me $2 for every flyer that came back through the door with my initials on it, and they would give me a fat stack of flyers, and tell me to go on my way. And I would stand out on the street corner and literally hand these flyers out, invite people to the nightclub. And literally 99% of the people would be rude to me, tell me no, ignore me, the worst shit ever. But then that 1% would say yes. You know what I mean? And that made it all worth it. You know what I mean? I learned a lot about the word no then. You know what I mean? And no is just a number. You know what I mean? It just gets you that much closer to that yes. Man.
Absolutely.
Listen, I love the twist on the magazine, if I can even use that word, but the innovation of the magazine.
And the other part of it, and I'm going to show this a shameless plug. The other part of it is that we also have a print magazine, but it's just the cover. It's the cover of the magazine with the QR code that actually takes you to the digital magazine. Now, what we're doing is that, again, keeping it local, we have different digital artists around town. Pretty Done, Adam Pretty Done. He's going to be doing our make covers, and we got a lot of other different local artists. They're going to be doing the covers each month. So each month, and again, we're at 100, and the last count was maybe 36 locations in Las Vegas where we have the actual magazine.
Nice.
I shoot it in my stories all the time, but so you'll be able to kind of find this in different locations from different restaurants, boutiques, different places like that. And you can also use it. We call them cheat codes. You can actually use it to get like 10% off, buy one, get one free, different things like that. So you're actually saving money at different places where we got it set up. But this is sort of just again, it's something that can take you from not knowing about the brand, seeing the logo, seeing the brand all over to where you take it from here to where we actually live, which is digitally. With the digital magazine. So it's sort of one part print, one part digital.
That's dope. And then and once you dive into this, guys, you know, there's a whole cannabis section in there too. You know what I mean? So
cannabis.
It's cannabis
let's talk
friendly.
about some cannabis.
It's cannabis friendly. Well, listen, I mean, we're out of time, brother. I definitely want to have you back. I think it's incredible what you've created.
Appreciate it.
But where can they find you? Let's get the major plugs in and let us know what you got coming up.
Major plugs. Again, it's so many, and if I say one, I'm gonna have to say them all, and I'll get in trouble. You can find them, man, all over downtown: Golden Fog, Rebar. I'm drawing a blank. Nevada Brewworks, Able Baker, Main Street Tattoos. Bring it on. Bring it back. I'm sorry, they're gonna kill me for that. But again, and I shouldn't even start. I had done it. The Test Kitchen, Vegas Test Kitchen. There's a lot of different places you can actually find it downtown. It's all over. Look, just check me out. biteSiZeD magazine on Instagram. All the different places that we that we do business with, and that are not only clients but really close personal. I'm going to say friends, because we really want to see local businesses win. You're not going to find McDonald's, Starbucks, and on our magazine. They got their bread, they got their coin. We want local businesses to win, and we only really feature local businesses. And I really appreciate them, and I hope they appreciate what we're trying to do. We're just trying to drive locals to local businesses.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Well, man, keep it up, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on, and I love your hustle story, and hopefully we can do some business in the future.
We absolutely gonna do that. You don't have to give me this cannabis stuff, because I'm trying to get in there.
I know a thing about the cannabis.
I think you know a thing or two about cannabis. So
I appreciate your time,
JC. I really appreciate you having me.
Of course. Well, listen, that's going to wrap it up today. We have a lot going on. Like I said, our partners were up in Northern Nevada yesterday. A lot of good developments are going on out there. We're bringing in, hopefully it looks like a big brand. We'll be announcing that to some of our Northern Nevada partners. And then we have some incredible products that we've been working on, R&D, some super unique products. And it's all connected to some incredible positive messaging. The content's going to be crazy. We're going to drop that incredible product probably in the next like 2.5 weeks. So I can't wait to share that with you. And guys, listen, it's like, COVID is all but over, right? God bless us, right? We've made it, right? And, with all the horror that we've all been through and all the trauma and everything, it looks like a lot of us are starting to heal, right? And things are getting back to normal. And that means that the culture and cannabis events are getting sent. And let me tell you, I'm working on them. Every day I'm working on them. We're going to send 2 major events, one in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, downtown Tulsa, and then we're putting together one as we speak, our biggest show ever in Las Vegas, downtown Las Vegas. It'll also continue on to the Strip. Looks like a little meet and greet at a dispensary too, with an incredible artist that I can't wait to share with you guys. So listen, we're getting it done. And your support means the world to me. And listen, check in all the podcasts at cultureandcannabislv.com, and look us up next week at 4 p.m. and we'll talk to you guys then. Peace.